Welcome to today's mathematics class. So in today's mathematics class, we are going to be finishing our second topic which we started. At the first we looked at the cosine rule. Now in this video, we are going to look at the second part, which is the sine rule under trigonometry. So before I start, don't forget to subscribe, comment and share if the video was helpful. So don't mind about my voice, I have flu. Yeah, so the question is saying in triangle PQR, PQ is equals to 16.1, angle QPR is equals to 42 and angle PQR is 53. Calculate the length of QP, the area of triangle PQR, the shortest distance from R to PQ, and finally solve the equation. So whenever you are dealing with trigonometric question 2 until the end, they will just be the same. So what changes whenever you are solving trigonometric question is the formula you use to calculate the length of the first question, because we have two formulas. We have the cosine rule, which I showed you in my part 1 video, and we have the sine rule, which you will learn today. So there are some simple notes or some points which you need to understand before we start solving the question. So when is it necessary for you to use the sine rule? So for you to use the sine rule, you have to make sure that your diagram has two angles and one side. So whenever you see two angles and one side, just know that the formula you are going to use is the what? The cosine, is the sine rule. So when do we use the sine rule? When we have two angles and one side. So why are we not using the cosine rule? So the cosine rule requires us to have at least two sides for us to use the cosine rule, but the sine rule only require two angles for you to calculate the other side. So how does the formula now for the sine rule looks like? So the formula for the sine rule looks like this. You have A over sine A, which is equal to B over sine A. So yeah, again, this formula is always found at the cover of your page. So what does this formula mean? So again, as I showed you, the first step is to change the letters of the formula to match the what? The letters you have in the diagram. Yeah. So in our case, I showed you that the small letters represent the sides. So the first thing we have to do when we are solving this question, we have to indicate the what? The small letters. So you say R is pointing where? 16. So this is small r. Then P we have here. Then Q down there. So once you do that, meaning you have identified the sides which you are going to use in the diagram. So our first side we are going to use is the one with at least one angle. Yeah. So if you look at this diagram, you can see that we have this side which is 16. It has a number, but it has no angle. So meaning here the examiner, they were testing you. So the first step here, you have to find this angle R, because this angle R will go with this side, and this angle will go with this side. This angle goes with this side. So this is how you use the sine rule. Remember, this angle goes with the opposite side, this angle goes with the opposite side, and this angle goes with the opposite side. Now, since our question is requiring us to calculate QR, so it is requiring us to calculate what? QR. So how can we calculate QR? So you say that QR is represented by which letter? It is represented by P. So you say small letter p over sine p is equals to, here you have to pick the side with both the angle and the side. So the side we are going to pick is R, because we have this, and we can also calculate this angle. So you say R over sine R, like that. Yeah. So here the next step is to replace now. Where we have P, we put what is supposed to be there. Where we have sine P, we put the angle. And where there is R, we put the side. So remember, I told you have to calculate this angle first. So how can you calculate this angle? So you say a triangle is 180. So if you subtract 180 minus 42 minus 53, you get the sides of this angle. So you say 180 minus 42 minus 53. So we get our angle to be 85 degrees. So meaning the angle we are going to use to solve this question is what? 85 degrees. Again, I repeat, the angles have to be opposite to the side. So this angle goes with this side, and this angle goes with this side. So meaning if 42 goes with P, and in the question we are calculating P, so meaning the angle we use is what? 42 for P, and R 85. So you say P over what is our sine P? So sine P we have 42 equals, then we have R to be 16.1 divided by sine R, which is 85. So sine R, this capital R, is this angle, which is 85. Don't forget, then P is 42. Yeah. Then here you can close multiply. So here, if you want to work fast, do not multiply or do not punch everything here on the calculator. Just say close multiply. So we have P sine 85, which is equals to 16.1 times sine 42. Then you divide by sine 85. Even here, sine 85. So here we have P, which is equal to 16.1 times sine 42 divided by sine 85. So now here you can punch on the calculator. So what is the answer? So you start by punching signs. So you say sine 42, which is equal to, multiplied by 16.1 divided by, you put it in brackets, sine 85. So our answer is P is equal to 10.8141. Leave your answer to 3 significant figures. Yeah, so the distance QP was what? It was 10.8 meters. Yeah, and the rest or the other parts I really showed you how to calculate in the previous video, so we can just go a bit fast. So question 2, we say that the formula for area is equals to half BC sine A. So this was the what? This was the formula for area. And I said you follow which one? You follow the middle letter. That is the angle you are supposed to use. So in our case, the angle is Q. So meaning the angle you are using is what? 53. And the sides are these two which we have calculated. In short, I said just follow the side with which has two sides and the angle. So we have P and this and the angle. So you say area is equals to half. So our B is 16.1. Our C we have 10.8. Then sine 53. So again, start by punching sine. It says sine 53 times 10.8 times 16.1 equals divide by 2. So you get 69.433. Then to three significant figures, we have 69.4 as our area. So this is how calculation of area is simple. So I really talked a lot about how you can calculate the area in my part 1 video. I'll leave the link in the description. Be sure to go and watch my part 1 video. Yeah. Then when we talk about the shortest distance, I said the formula for shortest distance is h is equals to 2a divided by the base. So this is the formula which we use to calculate the shortest distance. And they are saying the shortest distance is from R to PQ. So you say R to PQ. So if they say R to PQ, so meaning our PQ is the base. So meaning the base will have what? 16.1. So follow the letters. Always look at the letters. Don't just start solving because you know how to use the sine rule. Use the letters properly. Yeah. So most of you just know that, okay, the answer we solve here always becomes the base. No, it changes. Yeah. So we have the area which is 69.4 divided by our base which is 16.1. So if we punch this on the calculator, this is straightforward. 2 times 69.4 divided by 16.1, we have our answer to be 8.621 meters. Again, to three significant figures, we have 8.62 meters as the shortest distance. So this is the second part on trigonometry, basically the sine rule. So what do you need to know, or what is the summary you need to take home? So the summary is that you only use the sine rule whenever you have two angles and one side. That's when you use the sine rule. And make sure the letters are clearly labeled before you start solving. The third thing is always make sure that the side and the angle are opposite to each other. Like this, we have 16.1, meaning the angle we are going to use should be opposite to 16. Even this angle represents this side, just like that. So don't forget to subscribe, comment and share the video for more.